if anyone were to come to me today and ask me, like, how do you become a producer? Well, first off, I would say, I don't know. It just happened to me. Because very few people come to LA with the intention of, like, I'm going to be a producer. With most things, most people just kind of fall into their career because they find out they're good at it, or someone thinks they're good at it, and they just keep, doing it because it makes them money and they can have a comfortable living. Producing sort of the same way. And most of us all came to LA with the intention to act, direct, or write. I'm sure there's other, obviously people want to be DPs and production designers and whatnot like that, but even then, I'm sure they want to direct. I wanted to direct. I still do. Would love to direct stuff. But I like producing. I'm good at it. I like what I do. I know how to do it pretty well at this point, at least on these budget range. So, I just sort of fell into it. But the biggest piece of advice I could give anybody coming into it is don't go to film school. Don't do it. I have so many friends that are just struggling right now as grips or ADs or PAs that are drowning in debt, student loan debt, because they spent, $80,000 going to the best film school they could find on the internet. And, they went and they learned stuff, don't be wrong, and then they came to LA and they learned more on their first day on set than they did at film school. And suddenly you realize, oh, maybe that wasn't as valuable as it could be. Don't be wrong, there's very specific jobs in the film industry that I think are important to go through film school with. Like, director of photography it's a very tech-heavy thing. Can you learn it outside of film school? Absolutely. Is that the one job where I might go, maybe we should take a couple classes just so you know all of the, material that's really expensive, that if you break by not knowing how it works, you cost the production a lot of money? Sure. But that being said, you can learn almost anything you want nowadays using the internet. So do that. And especially with producing is such a large, encompassing word that it's really whatever you make it. And as long as you are creating an environment for people to be creative in and flourish and tell a story, you're producing. You're producing a product. And you're producing an arena for people to play in. You don't need to go to film school for that. I went to a year and a half of college at San Diego State, and I was majoring in film. And I just got to a point where I was like, this isn't for me, especially because I was getting work in LA. I had been fortunate enough to meet a few people, when I was young, when I was like 15 years old, and they were able to crack a door for me. So I started commuting to LA 3 times a week while going to San Diego State. And my film professors started failing me when I would go to them saying, hey, I'm going to miss lab on Thursday because I got a job doing what you're teaching in LA. Oh, well, you're not learning it from me. Dude, I spent $500 on your shitty book and you read from it in class. Like, that's your lab. You're going to fail me for not being there when I'm doing what you're teaching me in LA? And that was kind of the catalyst to make me call my educator parents and go, hey, I have a full ride, I have a full scholarship, FAFSA, all that stuff. It's kind of dumb because I could have gone for 4 years and been fine, but I wanted to start working. I wanted to get into it. And they were like, okay, that's what you want, go for it. Dropped out, moved up to LA, and I started full-time freelancing 6 months after moving to LA. And I never looked back, and I just kept going. And that's the thing, is you gotta, there are a lot of very talented, unsuccessful people. And there are a lot of really untalented, successful people. And there are a lot of talented, successful people. The thing that the last two have in common is perseverance. And if you can continue to work and keep going at it, you will succeed. But you have to have that drive, and you have to have that ambition. And you have to be able to aim high and try and hit, because it's always better to aim high and miss than to aim low and hit. And you just got to keep going, because it's not going to come easy, and you don't get to wake up and be king. You got to do it from the ground up. And to me, the best way to do that is to just start doing PA jobs, just trying to get onto sets. You don't need a film school for that. Just get onto a set and you will learn if you want to.